Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Hi, Lisa K. Donner here with Scott Cosenza, our legal affairs editor, and today we have a blockbuster ruling from the Supreme Court. Scott, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, Lisa, this case controls whether businesses can collect I should correct myself, are required to collect sales taxes for jurisdictions where they do no business. So if you're a store in California, for instance, and you sell widgets online, you now have to collect sales tax in potentially every place that a person buys those widgets resides. All the other 49 states, many cities and counties that have different taxing jurisdictions. This is a huge decision from the Supreme Court, which will manifestly change the way people buy and sell goods every day in this country.
All right, now I will confess I'm a huge online shopper, mostly because I am rather busy. And so, for instance, when I'm decorating a room, I will go onto Wayfair. Now, my understanding is that Wayfair was involved in this decision. Can you tell us about it and a little bit about the reversal?
Well, they were a named party in the case because they're one of the online businesses that sued South Dakota. South Dakota passed a law that said, we're now going to impose upon you, a vendor that has no physical presence in South Dakota, no business offices, no warehouses, no et cetera, that you're now going to have to collect taxes from people who live in South Dakota and then remit them to us. That's what the law said. Wayfair, Newegg, some other companies challenged that law so that they weren't burdened by this new requirement. Which the Supreme Court decision today, Lisa, reverses the prior court's ruling. So since 1992, that was the last ruling in this area. E-commerce, of course, having come quite a long way from 1992, we've lived in an environment where businesses have only had to deal with the taxing authorities where they actually did business and had physical presence. That's what's changed. That's why Wayfair sued. And it's a loss today for Wayfair. It's a loss for every other business that sells online that is now going to have to contend with the over 12,000 separate taxing authorities, state, municipal, county, and other, that will demand, certainly with their hands out, receipts from these online sellers.
All right, so does this go into effect immediately, or how do people even go about complying with something like this?
So it will go into effect immediately for South Carolina, I believe. Now, other
South
states,
Carolina or South Dakota?
or excuse me, yes, South Dakota. I apologize. The case is South Dakota, Wayfair v. South Dakota, or South Dakota v. Wayfair. So this will go into effect immediately in South Dakota. Other states may have provisions in their laws that they have been unable to enforce, and in those states, those provisions will kick in immediately. In most states, however, the legislatures, if you look at, watch the roads around the Capitol as the legislators speed to the building in order to pass new laws so that they can get a share of the online taxing environment. As you can imagine, you say you shop online because you're a busy person. Well, everybody shops online because it's convenient. That's how people shop now. And these legislatures will certainly want their slice of the pie that they're now allowed to take because of this ruling by the Supreme Court.
Well, this is a very big deal, Scott. It's a big deal for businesses. It's a big deal for the consumer. Who do you think gets hit hardest?
Well, South Dakota, Lisa, has a protection in its law where the only people that are forced to comply with it are people that have either $100,000 in total sales, at least, to South Dakota residents, or greater than, I think it's 200 transactions total. So if you only sell a pair of shoes on eBay to South Dakotans once a year, you're okay. But if you sell more than 200 pairs of shoes there, you've got a problem. And so I think it's going to hurt most those people that are not tiny businesses, but medium-sized businesses, Lisa. They're the ones that don't have the budget for lots of compliance officers and expensive software in order to comport and comply with these laws. The tiny seller will usually not be bothered because they're tiny, they're small fish. The big guys, Amazon, they've got teams of people to work this out. But the middle level people, they're going to have a lot of trouble, I think.
Thank you very much for this important Supreme Court update. Make sure to go on libertynation.com and read Scott's article. Also, it would be great if you hit the subscribe button and commented, and then you may win a libertynation.com Truth is Making a Comeback baseball cap. I'm Lisa K. Donner. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Subscribe and like this video. libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.